here we are. Jim Harbaugh headed to the Los Angeles Chargers, as I've been kind of speculating ever since they won the national championship. This is a good fit for Jim Harbaugh. This is a team that's ready to win in the National Football League. They've got a quarterback that's ready to win in the National Football League. This is a perfect position for him to go. He is one of the best, if not the best, coach currently going in our sport in college football. I know Kirby Smart fans would disagree, but I'll give you some context of why I will say that here in just a moment. Having said that, though, this leaves a massive vacancy in the college football world. The defending national champion needs a new coach, and now 3 of the 4 playoff teams are going to be working with brand new head coaches next year, which is pretty wild here. All things in college football getting a little crazy. All right, so let's take this one thing at a time here. Let's take it first from Jim Harbaugh's standpoint. As I've told you ever since they won that game against Washington, this makes a lot of sense. Jim has done everything that he came to Michigan to do, and he is going to be remembered as a legend for doing it. He came to return them to the promised land, and that's exactly what he did. Now, for some, maybe it took a little bit too long, but he did it. And so there's nothing left to prove at Michigan. Now, if he wanted to stay, he could have stayed and been pretty comfortable and probably still been very successful at Michigan. But he's also still an incredible competitor. And there is one area where he has not gotten it done, and that is winning a Super Bowl at the next level in the National Football League, whether it was as a player or as a coach. Got close, obviously, and that loss to his brother against the Ravens with the 49ers. But now he's headed back, and that's going to be his goal. And he's going to try to go and win a Super Bowl, obviously. And Charger fans should be incredibly excited. If you happen to be a Chargers fan and you're watching this, I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the sport. He does such a phenomenal job of building a fundamentally sound, tough, competition-oriented football team. They're always a throwback team. They're always physical, and they are tough to beat. Every level, everywhere that he's ever been. And it's not going to be any different with the Chargers. That team is going to be a lot better. And I know it's a tough division, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes, but I would be really surprised if the Chargers aren't one of the elite AFC teams maybe next year or certainly in the years to come. That's a roster that's ready to win, and this is a guy that just understands the sport. You watch his teams, even the coaches. By the way, there are guys that don't like Jim Harbaugh. That's obvious in the coaching ranks. And even the guys that don't like him watch his teams and they're like, man, they're really well coached. Man, they do everything really well. They play hard. They run to the football. They're physical. And at least for the last 3 years at Michigan, they had an incredible culture. And that's what he's going to bring to the Chargers. So that's that aspect. There's also an aspect of why deal with the NCAA. Excuse me. If I'm Harbaugh, there's no way I want to deal with the NCAA. Look at what's going on right now. They're getting a notice of infractions about a recruiting dead period. They're still going to be under investigation for the Connor Stallions issues. And in his mind, he's like, what? Why? He already had to serve 6 games of a suspension this last year. It was going to be more. I'm sure that the investigation is not going to be nothing in terms of the sign stealing. Okay. And all of that will come out later. And this is an opportunity for him to just leave and not have to deal with the NCAA. I wouldn't want to deal with the NCAA. They're getting a notice of allegations for recruiting dead period. Meanwhile, kids are pulling up to their national letter of intent signings in Lambos. Come on. Like, what are we doing? So he left and he went to the National Football League. Now the question becomes, who's staying and who's going? Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.